G'day. Don't know why I'm saying g'day, I'm not Australian, but there we are. The world we live in. Looking to do a casual little cash stream today. A really long stream on Wednesday. It was like 6 hours long. I don't quite have it in me to do a 6-hour stream again today, but get done what I can. And first hand, we get shoved on. Currently waiting for another game to open up here. Oh, ace jack and ace 10. And I think they chopped that. Did they chop that? Or am I just imagining it? Yeah, they did chop it. Fair play. You might be able to see I've got a nice little just over here. A nice little run it once streamer badge. I'm now kind of streaming on behalf of Run It Once as part of their streamer R promotion. Basically means that if I put in a certain amount of hours streaming Run It Once a month, then I'll get some perks like increased rate back and such. Sounds fine and dandy to me. Turn's not great after he calls a flop because he's going to have a lot of Jack X, as well as some aces which still aren't folding to this, so I'd rather just check back and try and hit either my straight or my flush. Completely miss. What? Kings? Fucking hell. Alright, fair play. In which case he probably would have called the turn. And as dirty as it is, guys, I'm also, on top of playing Run It Once today, I'm also going to play a little bit of cash on what you call it, Pokerstars. We do have a second run it once game open here now, which is always a good thing. Bear with me a sec while I get these Pokerstars tables set up. Wow, we got some hands going, guys. Just forgive the little white line at the top of the Pokerstars table. This isn't my overlay that I normally use for Pokerstars. Usually reserved exclusively for Run It Once, but there we are. Ah, that's a bit of a problem now. If I click on a Pokerstars table, what the fuck have they done to this software? If I click on a Pokerstars table, it doesn't let me use my scene changing transitions. How about now? Okay, it looks like hand to note was the problem there. Oh, this fucking shit, man. That'll do. So we got 4NL at both of the running ones tables, and then we've got 10NL on both of the Pokerstars tables. Just gonna have to go HUDless on the Pokerstars tables because it's not agreeing with me. Or more to the point, it's not agreeing with my streaming setup, which is just why, you know what I mean? That's a good hand. 2-pair, top and bottom. So we're just gonna bet it. King on the turn. A little bit of a scare card, but not scary enough that we're gonna start slowing down here. He's got like ace queen or ace jack, which some people do for some bizarre reason like to just flat in that position. He's obviously not going anywhere. King 4. We don't really have much of anything to kind of go with here, so my plan is to just go big or go home. I went big and he went home. Just shut the door so the missus doesn't have to hear me so loudly. Give her a bit of peace and quiet, eh? I'm going to be calling the Queen 10 in position here. Well, in position. In the big blind, I meant to say. And that is a really, really nice flop. Really dry. There's not a great deal of draws that you can have. That you certainly have an ace king, ace jack, king jack, jack 9. But at the moment, we just want to call it. No, the 8 on the turn. It's a little bit scarier. Obviously, there's now flush draw potential for the river. So we are going to take this opportunity to raise it up. No, I prefer that size, actually. Okay, you see 7 on the river. 7 shouldn't change a great deal. So what we're going to do here is just going to go big and try to get value from ace queen, pocket kings, pocket aces. He's got the pocket threes. What? Oh, that's a fucking bad start, isn't it? Pocket threes, literally, I was borderline not even considering. It's such a small part of his range. But I thought, well, the odds of me hitting top 2 and him hitting bottom set are pretty slim. But there we go. Happened anyway. No matter how slim, it still fucking happened. Just gotta get on with it now. Flop an open ender here. Just go flat call for the first bit. So, what we have, we don't quite have enough of in terms of pure pot odds there to go with that. Kind of sucks to let it go. If his bet was smaller, we could have called potentially. But with the size that he went, we need something in the region of about 20%, and we only have about 16%. So we're not a million miles away by any stretch of the imagination. But strictly speaking, it's not even necessarily a close spot. It's actually just the we're behind what we need to be. So, bad start. But, I mean, not a great deal we could have done about anything so far, I don't think. The 10 and L tables have started mixed. Well, it's started okay on this table, but this table, obviously, we've lost about 50 big blind-ish portion of our stack to this chap when we had top 2. I'm really surprised actually that he didn't that this guy didn't raise on the river. I guess he was afraid of the straight, but even then I think he should be raising really. A little bit passive. Favorite call flopped bottom set. Wow, bottom sets all around on this table. Hopefully it's my turn next. Cold turn, cold river, only straight. That'll do. Again, I don't like the size that he's throwing out here. I feel like I should call, but my issue with it is that I'm going to have to let go a lot of turns. Like, except for maybe the 10 of spades, another 9, or a jack. There aren't many turn cards that I can call on, really. We raise up the pocket 8s here, get called in the big blind, sorry, in the small blind, and they lead out to us. Just going to flat here. A lot of the time, a flop lead is going to be some sort of, well, it's either going to be a draw or it's going to be a set a lot of the time. Definitely call one more here. Expect to see a lot of checks on this card unless they've got ace-x of diamonds. It's a really small bet on the river. It looks like a value bet to me. So I'm going to let it go. Raise up the ace king mind. I'm going to raise up the ace king here. Yeah, I'll do. Going to be getting it in here against Joel. Or Cook. What? That makes no fucking sense. Me flats and then decides to 5-bet jam. Pocket sixes. I mean, pocket 6-6 kind of makes sense. You see people do this a lot of the micros. But there we go. We got our first double up of the day. Called and then 5-bet jammed 6-6. We also won the other ace king hand over here. We managed to hit an ace on the turn after c-betting on a dry board. Oh, I say a dry board, it was just a low board really. King queen off here, gonna raise it up. You can call, you can raise. I tend to try and mix it up and not just play one linear strategy. No point in betting this flop where we almost never have anything at all. This is fully in our opponent's range. They're going to have a lot more overpairs like 6s, 7s, 8s, 9s, 10s. As well as they can have like ace high flush draws. They can have some straight draws and stuff like that. We don't really block anything is part of the problem. I mean, this is kind of a 50-50 river in that it's good for our actual hand strength, picking up the 2-pair, but our opponent's going to have a lot of flush draws that have got there sometimes. What do you have? You had ace deuce. Yeah, it would have been difficult to get any value there on the river actually. Nice hand. Thank you. It's always nice to have a good amicable game. Ace queen here. I'm gonna look to raise fold. Get a lot of 3-bets out of the blinds when you are on the button, and having a strong hand like ace queen that's got very good blockers. We block aces, we block queens, you can block like ace king. A lot of the time our opponent's going to be 3-bet fold in there, so we can attack them. Wow, big pot developing over here, and Dr. Udin gets it through. I had a similar pot to that myself yesterday when I was playing a little bit of cash just in the morning, and I made an overbet bluff of $8 into $5 pot with king high, and somehow managed to get it through. And we 3-bet in the ace, sorry, the king queen here, king queen suited. And we also got it through with the pocket threes here. 2 days. But thus far, we're doing a lot better on Run It Once than we are on Pokerstars. As much as I am a massive advocate for playing on Run It Once, the only problem is obviously it's as a newer site, it's not got as much traffic, which can be a little bit of a challenge when you're trying to stream to a set kind of schedule, because you're a little bit at the mercy of whatever the games are that are going on the site at the time. Something tells me this guy's going to start getting annoyed at me in a minute. Yeah. Kind of expected to see that, so we're just going to flat call, try and hit a set, which we miss. Yeah, we're just going to have to let it go. I actually raised smaller nines intended on there, but here we are. However, we do pick up some aces. I don't know about you, but I like it when I pick up aces. I prefer it when I get action with aces, though. See if we can get something going with the ace-king instead. Meanwhile, we've got a straight flush draw for a wheel here. I think I'm just going to call this and just try and hit my hand, basically. Wow, what the fuck happened here? Did this guy just go in with fucking ace-10 with no draw? Let's have a look at what happened here. I completely missed that, sorry guys. So he 3-bets ace-10, fine. C-bets. Gets min-raised and decides to call. And then donk shoves the jack on turn. Oh, right, okay. But forget that, guys, because we got a fucking straight flush. The only question is, what size? That looks like a good size to me. Now the hope is here that Oscar's got, I was going to say that he's got a full house, but either way, we get value from our straight flush. Wow, he had the king queen of clubs as well. How the fuck does he not get it in there, man? Pocket tens, we're going to come in for a round about that much as a c-bet. So we've just seen this player play pretty aggressively on a similar kind of board texture. So what do I want to do here? I think I do want to come back over the top again. 4 is both a good card and a bad card, really. Less likely they have a set, however they could have 5-4 or something like that, which is what they had in this hand a second ago. I think we need to go with it here. He's going to be calling 7s, 8s, 9s, ace-5. I'm assuming he'll call 6-5 as well, as based on what he's done here. We get it through. The aggression pays off, guys. That was a good pot to win there. I got far too many notes to write on these guys now. I can't keep up with it. And we're going to raise up and look to get it in here against Vault with our ace-king suited. And that is a fucking really, 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 really shitty flop. I think I can check it though, because I'd be checking my aces and kings here, so sometimes I'll check and sometimes he might check back, but if he bets anything at all, I think I'm just letting it go, to be honest. And he does check it back. I'm trying to think in terms of what I would do if I had aces or kings here. I think I would check it again, actually. And jacks and queens, actually. I think I bet all of them. Sorry, check all of them. Ah, we get fucked. Yeah. The problem is as well, he could potentially even have jacks himself. Or queens. So just gonna let it go. I'm not gonna try and pull any stupid moves here. That's how I always give myself a little bit of a car crash. Fucking. And I think I'm just going to check it back again. Thing is, when you've got king queen on a dry ace high board, generally speaking, you're just going to want to be checking it down because you have a lot of showdown equity. I mean, not in this occasion, but a lot of the time you will just win your hand with your king high there. Going to try a really small value bet against Spencer here. Try and get called by Queen 10, Jack 10. And now we can size up a little bit. Oh, we get owned by the fucking King Queen. It's a bit of a topsy-turvy day today, guys. I'm not going to lie. I mean, that's a pretty good flop. Going to bet super small here. Unfortunately, we get the fold. He's going to have tons of ace X there, so we got to go for the bet to try and start building the pot, I think. Meanwhile, we've got flush draw down here, which we're going to be calling, and we flop top pair. Going to be betting big for value. He's going to have tons of flush draws, straight draws. Could have some worse tens. We called on the flop here, looking for the flush. We completely missed the turn. I think we just check back and try and get the flush, but we miss. Yeah, gotta let that go. However, we do raise the pocket tens here against our two friends who we're trying to write a note on, but struggling. And we flop middle set in a four-way pot, which is a very nice place to flop middle set. And we see this lead. And I think, do we come over the top now? No, I don't think we come over the top just yet. Oh, we got quads, guys. Fucking quads. Come on, let's go. Cody, put some money in. This is the guy who shoved sixes against us after flatting pre. He flatted sixes and then he 5-bet jammed. So we're hoping that Cody's going to do something stupid here. I think we just call again on the turn. We don't want to raise and scare him off a draw or or a 6 or something like that. I think we can get more money out of him. And now we go for the kill. Think about it, think about it, think about it. I've got 8-9. Boom, get it done, guys. Get it fucking done. 2 stacks from Cody. I mean, that river card is what gets it for us, I think. Absolutely. Let's see, bet it's a really interesting kind of flop because it's monotone, obviously, which isn't great. However, top 2, we can certainly look to get some value from like king queens with the king of spades or queen of spades, stuff like that. Got the ace deuce offsuit on the button here. I think I won a hand that I didn't know about. Oh, it was the ace 10 hand, that was it. We get called here in the big blind. We flop a gut shot, and I'm going to give it a go. And we turn an open ender. In which case I'm going to put another fairly sizable bet in. And I think I'm just going to check it back on the river. 10-9, that's fair enough. Don't know what this person just did there. Just stay and play. Don't know what that means. Hopefully we can win with the nines. And we do win with the nines. Ace Jack, we're going to come in for a pretty sizable bet here on the flop. And that turn card is ugly. So we're going to check back and hopefully check back the river as well. Hope he's got a Queen Jack, King Jack. I mean, that bet's small enough that we can call here. Queen 10, yeah, that's another one of the hands that he's going to have a lot of the time. We 3-bet the Ace King here. Well, actually, technically, we raised first in because this guy just limped. He limp called in position. Just throwing in a small bet. We're going to have a lot of queens here. Ace Queen, King Queen. Well, the backdoor flush draw as well. And the jacks hold. They can hold. Good news for the jacks. Bad news for us because this guy is clearly a recreational player, as he only had a small amount of scapula with which to play with. I'm just gonna let go of this. Okay, we've just checked down here with the King 10 and we chop it up. I'm going to come in with the raise, the Ace 9 offsuit. It's not a great hand to play post flop, but I like mixing it in every now and then. Not always by any stretch of the imagination. And we missed the flop, but we're going to go for a small C bet. See if we can get a fold, which we do. Meanwhile, it limps to us here, which I mean, the fact that these guys are open limping tells me that they are probably recreational players. Meanwhile, we flop the nut flush. I mean, there is a slight worry about when these guys having Queen Jack of clubs, but it's not a big worry. We'll just call here. The 9 is actually a really bad card. If we flop the set or 2-pair with the 9 in it, we're now in a bit of trouble. I think I'll just call and see what happens on the river. I mean, the 8 is a good card for us. It should be a good card for us at least. Now here I'm going to have tons of missed ace high flush draws that are going to want to bluff on this river. So I'm going to go for the bluff. Well, I say I'm gonna go for the value bet rather, but I'm trying to make it look like a bluff. If that makes sense. By going big and kind of polarizing myself to nice. Yeah, I'm kind of saying there that I've either missed the flush draw or had the flush. It turns out he flopped the flush as well, which means that, you know, we could have potentially got it all in earlier on in the hand, but it's really hard to get all in with the ace high flush draw normally, because obviously it's a lot more difficult for other players to also have a flush. So it can be a bit of a troubling situation, but we got quite a good amount of value from that, I think. You may notice as well the stream name is Run It Once Cash Games, but I've got Pokerstars going as well, so I might change the stream title in a sec. Only because there weren't enough games going on Run It Once, and there still aren't. We're literally at the only 2 tables at 4NL here. I'm just going to go for a really fishy fucking bet here. It works. It works. There we go, Ace King. That's a hand that we can sink our teeth into. Ace Queen. What can we do with Ace Queen here? Cody's back. We've already stacked Cody twice. If you missed the the hands earlier, we had Ace King, which we raised. Cody called, and then for some reason decided to 5-bet jam 6s, which was fun. And we hit the king, stacked him there, and then later on we had we flopped the set of 7s, turned the quads, and then got it in on the river against his top 2. I'm just going to check our middle pair here. Big pot developing meanwhile on the Pokerstars table down here. And Mish takes it down. So we've turned a 2 pair here. It does give us some outs to a full house. Hey, isn't that great how that works out sometimes? I think we need to bet at it. We need to go for some value here. It's going to be hard to get value though, because these guys are just going to fold a lot, because they know that it's really likely for us to have a jack there. We're representing a queen here. We see bet small on the flop after 3-betting pre. And now we're trying to say we got ace queen. We also block the ace high flush draw as well, so that should reduce the amount of calls we get. Kind of a shitty board, really. I'm going to see bet small, try and get some of his auto folds out, but it's kind of hard for him to have auto folds on this board. And the jack's good. We can try and get called by an ace high now. Yeah, I'm just going to fold against the raise. No point sticking around there. Obviously raising at the tens. There's an all in here. Ace king against ace queen. Ace king is going to hold, I would imagine. It does. In fact, it improves. King jack suited here. We're going to raise it up. Pocket tens. We're going to kind of come in, if I can get my words out. Come in for a pretty sizable C bet. Meanwhile, we're all in against 75 cents of this chap here with the king 8, and it looks like, yeah, we've held it. So I'm a little bit concerned here. Obviously, our opponent can have 4s. They can have a 6. But they can have a lot of flush draws as well. They can have 7-5, hands like that. So we can't go away just yet. And with the deuce on the river, everything misses. And we do take the pot down. What did you have, sir? I'll find out in a sec. I actually had pocket 3s, so he was going for trying to get me off overcards, I'm assuming. But not today, buddy. Not today. And we're going to raise up big here with the pocket queens. Getting it in against either of these guys. In fact, any of them. Against ace 10 off. I personally wouldn't be doing that, my friend. The fuck, like, that's just... You do everything right, and you still fucking... Bullshit, man. I much prefer those hands if there's just an ace on the flop, and then, like, just, I'm dead. You know, or borderline dead. Fair enough. I can't do anything about that. Ace on the flop, done. But when it's like runner, runner, runner for a fucking wheel. It's ugly. We're still ahead on the day, but that's just annoying. Okay. We need to get our mojo back now. Heads up against Stuart here. We flop a gut shot. Gonna stab on the turn. And we take it down. That is no good to me there. Raise up king 10 off here. I feel like we're starting to get better on these 10 and L tables here. Can't tell whether or not we're ahead because I've had to close my HUD because the HUD wasn't fucking working. And we're still ahead for sure on these run it once tables despite the disgusting 3 on the river just now to crack our queens against ace 10. Meanwhile, we're going to be c-betting big on this king high turn here. Opponent shouldn't have too many kings in his range, but we will be c-betting ace king a lot. even some king queen stuff like that, but he shouldn't have too many kings in his range. And the 4 shouldn't really change anything. Makes it less likely he's got a set. You could be calling with a 9. However, we are going to go for the c-bet again here. All the draws miss as well, which is important to note. And we do get the bluff through. Nice. Meanwhile, we're we're in a pot against Tweedledee and Tweedle fucking Dumber here. And I think I'm just going to go pot with my top pair, top kicker here. These guys have both made some extremely questionable plays. Extremely questionable decisions, so I'm just going pure for value here. And hoping to get called by worse, basically. But we do get a fold, and that'll do for now. Pretty happy with that. Just going to check this back. Usually pretty difficult to get any folds from this guy, so I'm just going to check and check and check until I hit my set on the river, and then I'm going to go for an overbet and get value. Poker's easy, guys. Poker's easy. It's easy against players like this, at least anyway. What do you call with? Call with a 7. Call with a pair of 7s there. Meanwhile, we 3-bet in the queens. Out of position here. Fairly happy to see a fold. And these guys get it in with 10-7 and ace-10. I mean, there you go. So that's the 3rd time today that Cody's been stacked. I took 2 of the stacks, and this guy's taken... I took 2.5 of his stacks, and Joel's just taken the other half. Pocket 10s heads up here against Stuart. I'm going to c-bet big here, mainly because we can still have a lot of ace-x and queen-x here. I'm hoping to show down against something worse than an 8 here. It's Joel. Could certainly have a king, could possibly have a queen, could have a missed diamonds. Yeah, I think he's going to have a king probably more often than not, though. Wow, we just flopped the absolute fucking world against him here. And now we're really hoping that he can catch up. Cody's back again. What the fuck is this guy doing? Like, he just keeps coming back for more. He's been stacked 3 times now. And here we're just hoping that Joel has a 9. Making it a size that an ace high can call as well, but we don't get any joy there. It's always going to be tough to get value. We are raising the 8s over here on the Pokerstars table. And now we've got pocket 10s. We're gonna see what happens. What do I want to do? I'm going to come in for an aggressive 3-bet here. I've been pretty aggressive on this table already, and it's worked out for me so far. So I might as well carry on, right? There we go. There's a good enough reason why. Just going to come in for a big... Whoa, what's going on this table? Fucking hell. Brutal. Our opponent can have pocket queens here, but it's much more likely if they do call that they're going to have like a like a king queen or an ace queen. Unfortunately, we don't get it. Welcome to the stream, by the way, guys. How are you all doing on this fine Sunday morning? Appreciate it's probably not morning for a lot of you, but it is here. I'm having a nice little chill stream this morning. Playing some cash on Run It Once, playing some cash on Pokerstars. And we're gonna look to stack Cody again here. We've stacked him twice already, and took about half a stack just before he got finished off by this guy. And now it's simply a case of waiting for a hand and going for the value again. Worked for us so far against him. I'm not going to go for it here. We flop top pair of kings here. I'm just going to check back first on the dry board and turn a pair of jacks. Or turn a two pair rather. There's a couple of sneaky draws that could be in here. Could be some queen tens, there could be some clubs and such like that. So I'm going to come in for a raise. I mean, I've got a good hand now, so, you know, I'll just raise now. Certainly possible you could have 6-5 here. However, there are a lot of other hands it could have. It could have ace king that decided to check the flop. Pocket aces because it was such a dry board. So we're going to go for a reasonable bet, I think. That's a reasonable bet size. And we do get the fold. So we're putting these guys to task on this table pretty well here. I'm enjoying this table. We also take down a pot on the other table where we lost a fairly big hand early on. We lost a couple of big hands, I think, if I remember rightly on this table, but I think the biggest hand we lost on the other Pokerstars table was with Ace King. Was this hand? It was one of the first hands on the table, I think, where we just like literally bricked the flop, bricked the turn, and that was all she wrote in a 4-bet pot. I don't think we really won anything else. Oh, sorry, I don't think we lost any other hands apart from that. I'm just checking now. There's one 3-bet pot there, I think. Ah, there was the big pot we lost. I forgot about that. We lost this hand early on. Top 2 against bottom set. We did well actually not to lose our entire stack, because if he'd have shoved on like the turn or turn river or flop, actually I think I probably would have gone with it if he shoved at any point. So I did really I was lucky that he was pretty passive with his bottom set to not lose my whole stack there. And I'll run it. Other Run It Once table is just closed. See if we can get another one up for you. It doesn't look like it's going to happen. I'll save that there for now, and then I'll try and get into another Run It Once table in a little bit if any others decide to open. Of course, if you're watching the stream and you have an account on Run It Once, by all means jump into a casual little 4NL game with me. Some weird shit going on though. Yeah, I decided to just limp behind these guys because my hand isn't good enough to raise with. But I can try and get some cheeky hands out of it with a super cheap flop. Obviously calling the open end of it. The turn doesn't bring us much joy, but the The bet from this guy just doesn't make any fucking sense whatsoever. And we do hit a flush on the river, but it's not a great flush. See if we got the best hand here. Unfortunately, we're beaten by the jacks. I'm coming in for the 4-bet here with the ace-king. And he bet with an 8, a pair of 8s. So, yeah. I think Anik played their hand really well, actually, about as well as they could have. Going for a big c-bet here, just trying to get folds from Joel. We do have a gut shot as well, but we're just going to calm it down on the turn there. Meanwhile, we win a 4-bet pot against Mish. 4-bet or ace-king, they tank for a while and fold, so nothing really special going on there. Pretty standard spot. There's one thing you got to do a lot more in 10 and L tables, because you get 3-bet so much more often. You really need to start 4-betting a lot more as well. Wow, that's bold. I mean, that's not the best play in the world, I don't think there. So they come to the table with a small amount, and now they've auto rebought for like 10 bigs. Oh, what a flop! What a flop, guys. Go on, let's just sucker him in. I'm just being super cheeky here. Yeah, there you go. Get it in. Wow, he's got pocket kings. Fucking hell. That is unlucky, to be fair. To be fair to him, that is unlucky. But what can you do? Whoa, we got quads, guys. And given the fact that we got a bet and a call here, I'm going to assume that someone somewhere might have a full house. I'm just going to check this back. I want to hope that someone's going to catch up somewhere. Don't get any joy. I'm just coming for a really over the top bet here. Sometimes you'll get called by people when you do this. If they've got a 9 or an overpair of some kind, sometimes they'll call. I've had it done before, where if someone in this spot has called with like pocket kings, or they've called with a 9 or something like that, because they think that there's no way that if I had 4 of a kind that I would just fucking smack it in like this. And a lot of the time they kind of level themselves into thinking, oh, well, I've got a 9. He's probably got a 9 as well. Come on, hit the call button, mate. Hit the call button. You can see why. Look, he's really thinking about it. Like, even if he doesn't call, like, I'm satisfied that I've put him to a real decision here. And this is where you make money in poker, when you put your opponents to a really fucking difficult decision and hope that they make a mistake. Hit the call button, mate. Ah, so close. It's hard to get value with quads, guys. But yeah. I'm guessing that our friend Brack here from Austria, sorry. Can't even play in Australia. What am I about? I'm assuming he had a 9, or maybe like a pocket 7s, pocket 8s, something like that. In which case I could have bet smaller and got called, but I kind of prefer that there, because I was explaining this on the stream the other day. Say I bet I don't know. Say I bet pot 70 cents or whatever it was, or say I bet $1. I'm gonna get called, what, maybe 2 times out of 10, something like that, when he's actually got a pocket pair or a 9 or something like that. So 2 times out of 10 I make $1, so I make $2 every 10 times. However, if 1 in 10 times or even 1 in 20 times I can get him to call for $8, then, you know, so let's say it's 1 in 20 times he calls for $8. Well, I've made twice as much, basically, because it'd be $4 for every 10 times instead of $2 for every 10 times. So you end up making more money in the long run. It's just, you just end up with lots of occasions where they just fold, but every now and again someone does that stupid call, and you walk away laughing with all their money. Well, this is kind of a weird flop. I'll throw in a C-bet, I guess, but that makes life a bit easier. Come on, Oscar, call. It's always hard to get it. Hard to get it there. And we were going to try and set mine with the deuces here, but against this 3-bet into 3 players, sorry, deuces aren't going to be strong enough. We are going to raise up the 9-7 suited though. We take down the pot with the 5-4 suited here as well. I'm going to try and get another run at once table going here, so just bear with me a sec. Shift this out of the way. Looks like there's a couple more players trying to join. It should be ideal, really. Tell you one thing that running once would really benefit from is something like what Pokerstars has, which is this way to set a layout. Which at the moment, as far as I'm aware, only Pokerstars has that facility. I don't know if like GG Poker has it as well or something like that, but I've never played there, so I don't fucking know. That doesn't look like we're going to get another game there. It's a nice, really chill morning here, I think. We see a limp. We're just going to limp behind with our pocket threes. I mean, these super small pocket pairs, you just want to get to the flop as cheap as possible and set mine, generally speaking. I wouldn't open limp with them, but I'm quite happy to limp behind someone else who's taken the initiative by limping first. But they're most likely a recreational player, given the fact that they've got less than 100 big blind stack and that they open limp. By the way, guys, if you're enjoying the stream, just hit the follow button. You can see whenever I go live, which is every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday. On occasion, I'll stream on some other days as well. Like on Wednesday when I had a... Whoa, fair play. Did a 6-hour stream Wednesday and won a PLO tournament while I was doing it, which is incredible because I don't know how to play PLO. And somehow managed to fluke my way to a win. And yeah, occasionally occasionally I may miss a stream on like a Monday or a Thursday or a Sunday or whatever like that, but I try to make up for it by doing some other ad hoc streams. But generally speaking, every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday will be the days that I'll be streaming. And that's not a great flop, is it? I mean, we had a backdoor flush draw, backdoor straight draw and such, but it's not strong enough. Against this player, I mean, we could come in for a 3-bet. I think calling's fine as well. Ace-3 suited is a bit of a weird one like that. And we can call here with a bottom pair. We got backdoor flush draw. We could always hit another 3. We can hit an ace. We could just have the best hand right now. We could just have, you know, Queen 10 or some shit. Of course, I say Queen 10 and the Queen peels on the river, doesn't it? In which case, I'm just going to hope that he's got like Ace Jack, Ace 10 and checks back, hoping to win with an Ace High. I don't expect it too often. I'm probably going to have to fold to a bet on the river here. Yeah, he overbets the river. So those pots there are those little kind of bitty pots that can kind of subtly affect your session without you really realizing it. If you lose too many of those or you let too many of them go on the flop, then you can get yourself in trouble later. I think I'm actually going to just slightly over min bet here, just to get a little bit of protection from some random trash. And of course the 7 comes on the fucking river, which is no good to me. I'm going to put in a pretty big bet here, try and polarize myself to either having a 10 or 7, and hope to get them to fold some random trash. And they do fold. Good. Good result. Meanwhile, we call with the top pair here. Not a good spot on the turn. Our problem here is our kicker isn't great, so you can have King Queen or King Jack a lot of the time. You could also have a 9, and we're just not doing great, especially when, oh, for fuck's sake. Sod's fucking law, innit? Yeah, the thing I was going to say is when this player calls, they're going to have a 9 a lot of the time as well. The thing is, as much as that river would have been great to have still been around for, I still think my fold then and there on the turn was correct. I think I was behind and therefore the fold being correct, if you know what I mean. We'll come in for a bet here. We've got an open ender. We can defend against a check raise, but we don't have to, and that's much more pleasant. Interesting to see what happens here in this pot. See a call and then a 3-bet and then a call. Wouldn't be surprised to see a shove here. He goes small instead and gets the fold, so fuck knows what Joss Cott had. Nothing special, obviously. Not had many hands recently in the run it once table. Been pretty slow here, pretty slow running. I'm not gonna let this guy bully me off my big blind so easily. We've not played a hand in a little while, so it's going to be a bit easier to get him off a hand. Unfortunately, we missed this. I think what I'm going to do, given that the board is pretty connected, I'm just going to go for one big bet, and if we see a call, then we'll just give it up. Ace on the turn is actually really good. He's going to have a lot of Queen X, some Jack 10s and stuff like that we're ahead of anyway. Obviously the flush gets there, but now we get there with a boat. How the fuck did that happen? I don't know. All I know is I like it and I want to get money from it. So I'm going to go for an overbet. We're going to get called by a queen a lot, and we do get called by a queen. Yeah, Queen Jack. There you go. Poker's that easy. You c-bet with ace high, you check your ace on the turn, you river a boat, and then you overbet for value. Easy as that, guys. To be fair, we are sitting on a nice, comfortable, almost 400 big blind stack here. Is particularly enjoyable to have. Not doing quite as well on the 10 NL tables on Pokerstars. We lost a couple of big hands on this table. Top 2 pair against a set and an ace king in a 4-bet pot that just bricked. Whereas this table we're doing a lot better. We've had some good hands and such. Currently got a pretty big fish on our side here. No offense to the guy, but constantly limping. He's not rebuying when he falls below 100 big blinds, so I can reasonably assume that they are a bit fishy. I think I'm going to check this over and look to check call from a pair of 8s on my flush draw. Trying to keep this pot small here. 7 doesn't really change anything, doesn't help. Would have preferred to see a king on the river actually. One thing that is good about the stream today is actually we're not dropping frames, which is great. Which kept happening on Wednesday. No one else could see it. I just had my Streamlabs setup telling me that I was dropping frames. Wow, we see an all in here. And the rich get richer on my left, which isn't ideal for me. I think they got it in on the flop. No, they got it in on the turn. And he had pocket 8s, so makes sense. Meanwhile, we flop top pair. And we're going to come in for a c-bet and get nowhere. Just going to check back this flop. The only things we're getting called by are ace X, really. Sometimes an 8, sometimes a king. It's mainly going to be ace X, so wow, big bet on the river. I'm going to let it go in that case. I don't think he's betting that size with a king or worse. I think he's only betting that size with an ace that's trying to get called by a king. But we'll see. Edwin might just be an absolute nutter. We've only really just joined the table, to be honest, so we'll find out in a minute, I'm sure. They're really going at it here, Joel and Edwin. Edwin shoves the river with ace king. Gets called by Joel, who had ace jack. That sucks for Joel, but I mean, he does have a little purple flag over him for a reason there. Because he does like calling in spots where he shouldn't. We lost the hand against Joel. The only reason Joel's got this stack at the moment is because piled it in with about 75 big blinds with ace 10 off earlier when we had queens and hit runner for a wheel, which really annoying. kind of an ugly spot this, because I do like playing h7 suited. Unfortunately, we'd be out of position against this player. What I'm going to do though is I'm going to just flat call and try and hit something on the flop. And the reason for that is because it looks to me, given the fact that they're not having, they haven't come to the table with a full stack, they are likely a recreational player, in which case I should be able to outplay them on some boards. Not this one, unfortunately. When we flop an open ender here, you see the ace on the turn after we get donk bet into, and I'm a little bit concerned. Yeah, it seemed like a bit of a trap, to be honest. Just gonna keep it simple, guys. Looking to make big hands and then bet them aggressively. And it's worked for me so far. We are up on both Pokerstars and Run It Once today. We're doing pretty well on both sites. And the spots where we've lost pots were either where we just got purely unlucky, or in a spot like on this table earlier where we literally couldn't do anything, top two pair against bottom set. And a really dry, well, I say dry, but it wasn't even that dry, to be honest. Our opponent could have had a lot of two pairs themselves, over pairs, stuff like that. So I appreciate you guys hanging out with me today. A nice, nice chill session. And if you want to watch it back, if you missed anything, obviously you can do that in the video section on the on Twitch. But also, if you go to my YouTube channel, I've started putting all the streams up on there. The only one missing is the 6-hour one from Wednesday, but it's just purely because of the size of it. There were some issues that were kind of unavoidable. Also confirmed that this guy is a recreational player for getting it all in on this board. On the river as well. I think Mish kind of leveled him into call in there. Wow, both against a flush here. JRP guy we've got guy that we've got tagged as a recreational is actually doing quite well. Bobothy, my bankroll is spread out all over the place. In short, so all in all, I've got bankroll on Pokerstars, I've got bankroll on Party Poker, and I've got bankroll on Run It Once. None of them are massive because I've kind of split them out. If you were to combine them all together, it's about $1,000. So it's not a massive bankroll. Just kind of does what I need it to for being able to stream on multiple different sites. And depending on how one site does or another site does, I might like move money from one to another or something like that. Like Run It Once, when I started on Run It Once, I took money from Pokerstars and then deposited like €100 on Run It Once just to get started on there, which I've been kind of building up since. Gonna let this one go. Oh, well, that was nice of him. Just fucking bails on the table all of a sudden. And I mean, this. Don't get me wrong, guys. I love Run It Once. I love the way that the software works. I love the promotions, all that. However, this is a big fucking problem. There's no one playing on there. This is why we need to get more people involved. Part of the reason why I've got my little run it once badges on the side here, taking part in their streamer promotion. All it means is basically that if I stream for a certain amount of hours per month, then I'll get some extra rate back. That was a nice little pot to win there with the knights. We see a 3-bet and a call. I mean, if the Jack 10 was suited, I'd be calling, but offsuit, it's just not quite good enough. No, Bobothy, I don't use Poker Tracker. That's one of the few HUDs that I haven't used. So on Pokerstars, I normally use Hand to Note for both review purposes and have some stats. The reason why I don't have it up at the moment is because I've got hotkeys to change screen like this, which doesn't work, which I found out at the start of this stream. It doesn't work with Hand to Note for some bizarre reason. If I've clicked on a Pokerstars table and then try and switch to a different screen, it just doesn't work, it just falls over. So no idea why, but that's the reason why I've not got it open. And if I'm playing MTTs on Stars, then I will use Jivaro. I've previously used Hold'em Manager, but it was riddled with issues. I bought it, and over the course of about 2 weeks, trying to use it, and it just kept failing, and in the end, I actually asked for a refund, which they did give me, to be fair, because it just didn't work. I just could not get it to work. I don't know if I was doing something wrong or what, but far too many software issues for my liking. But I loved Hold'em Manager's design, you know what I mean? Hold'em Manager 2 I'm talking about, by the way, not 3. I haven't tried 3 yet. Well, I was thinking of investing in Hold'em Manager 3 just to diversify, but Hand to Note is free. I'm going to pay for it for the basic version, and it does kind of enough for me at the moment. But on Run It Once and Party Poker, you can't use a HUD, so this makes no sense now, because as you can see here, I'm waiting to get into a table on Run It Once, but it says there's three players waiting, so where the fuck are they? I think I'm just gonna have to do something which is, it's gonna look horrendous for a brief moment on the screen. I literally have to try and open 6 tables, so they end up all over the fucking place. I can't get into one still, so don't know what to do. It's a shame, because I was doing really well on Run It Once today. Getting some really good fucking results, like. Two-card PLO, yeah, man. Yeah, I've thought about looking at Poker Tracker again. The reason why I didn't get it the first kind of time around was I wasn't a big fan of the interface on it. But what can you do? What you got against two-card PLO turtles? I'm a big fan of two-card PLO. Because I'm not good enough at actual PLO to play it like I won a PLO MTT on Wednesday, but I don't know how I did that. I fluked it because I suck at PLO. Apparently I suck at Hold'em as well. What can you do? Just suck at everything, right? Yuck. Nah. I'm not in love with my hand enough here, guys. I'm not in love with it enough. I need to let it go, I think. I think I need to let it go. Interestingly, is there... Yeah. So I would like to be continuing to play on Run It Once right now. However, there are no Hold'em games going. There is a PLO game, but it's at 50 NL, and my bankroll isn't big enough for that. Yes, I have had that, Turtles. I have had that. The very first time I ever played on it, I opened up a table, tried it for like 5 minutes, and it just wouldn't kind of put my stack back into my account, and it took about, I think it took about 24 hours actually. It might have happened in less time than that, but I checked it a couple of times later in that day. But yeah, that is a good point. I didn't consider that. Good shout, Turtles, my friend. Wow. Top 2 against middle set. Sucks to be you. Yeah, it's probably some of the stack in limbo, you're right. I mean, it's one of the things that, you know, obviously the low traffic, it makes it really hard to do the leaderboard, because you're kind of, I've said this before, you're at the mercy of if there is a game running when you're available to play, and if there's not, then you can't get anywhere on the leaderboard because there's no one to play against. Yeah, there's a couple of tiny bugs, but there's not been anything thus far that has really like turned me off the site at all. Obviously, it's still technically a beta, as it says like on the table when you open it. So you got to expect some bugs. But because I've just joined kind of the Run It Once community, if you will, by signing up to be a streamer, whatever. I'm now on their Discord group, and they do actually have a section on the Discord for people to report bugs, and they seem to be kind of pretty active on there actually, in terms of trying to like fix the bugs when people report them. So yeah, it looks good. But I mean, even with like Party Poker, for example, which I play on a lot, that's still got bugs. And Party Poker's been going on for how many? Like almost 20 years? Something stupid like that. Like the first site I ever played on when I first opened up a poker table on Party Poker about 13 years ago. I'm hoping for a shove over the top of me here, or at least a call from a jack. Hey, there we go. Job done, guys. Job done. That's one out. 3 to go. Yeah, and the bugs they've got on Party Poker at the minute is with the lobby. Like, it doesn't, the tournament lobby I'm talking about, it doesn't refresh the tournaments properly. Like, there's so many times where like you'll log on, let's say you log on at 9 AM and it'll show like the tournaments that are in late reg from like 8 AM and shit like that. And then if you just leave the lobby open for like 4 hours, it'll still say that those same tournaments from 8 AM are in late reg, even though they've actually like finished by now. I don't know if they fixed it now. Like I've not played on there much recently. I've been playing more on Run It Once, but it is a pretty big like issue in my opinion, because you end up like I've accidentally registered for the wrong tournament sometimes because of where it is in the lobby and all that. Hey, we got a Run It Once table going. Right, give me a sec. Let me get it. Let me get the let me get it sorted. This is gonna look ugly for 2 seconds, guys, and then I'll fix it. There we go. Okay, so we got Ari, we got Clay, we got Mia. So at Turtles, I'm assuming you play PLO on Run It Once, is that right? What stakes, if you don't mind me asking? Because I've thought about playing PLO on Run It Once, but I don't know if it's going to be extremely kind of reg heavy, and me being like an absolute novice at PLO, I don't know if it's the best place for me to start trying to dabble into it, you know? Wait, that's a good hand to start with, isn't it? On a new table? Come on, Ari, come over the top. Ari, dude. He's not interested, is he? Okay, let's start attacking these guys. Let's put a pretty sizable bet out there. It's a pretty dry board. I don't think he's going to be calling the flop with much other than a queen, to be honest. I'm just going to let it go. Oh, he's got fives. All right, fair enough. I still don't think he was giving up fives on the turn or river there. I'd much rather pick a better spot, say for example, with queens. And if Clay comes over the top here, we'd be getting it in. Just decides to call though. Gonna go for a C bet. He's gonna have lots of 9, 8, 10, 9, 10, 9. Fucking, I would say 10, 9, wouldn't I? Doesn't change a lot. We still got a C bet. We go through. I'm just gonna check this over. Meanwhile, we flopped top pair of jacks here. Pretty dry board, so we'll just bet small. And now we got kings. We had aces, kings, and queens on this table, all in the space of like less than 5 minutes since joining it. And that is a sucky, sucky flop. I'm gonna throw in a pretty sizable bet. I just want to try and get some really shitty hands out. You know what I mean? This is not what I signed up for. In which case, I'm going to make a really tight fold. I can just foresee issues happening. I can see some issues happening here as well. Despite the fact that we've hit 2 pair on the river. Yeah, queen 10. That was what I was worried about. Can't do a lot about that really, can I? We gotta go for a value bet, I think, on this river. We block the diamonds. We can get called by some worse jack X. We can get even called by like king 10, king queen that might have called 2 streets because I bet really small on the flop and small on the turn. Can't do a lot about that. What I can do though is flop trips. I'm going to come out for a fairly sizable bet. This guy's pretty much a station. And that could be our money card right here. Someone's picked up a flush now. Hopefully someone comes over the top with a flush. If not, I'll be satisfied with 2 calls. That would do. Oh, we both got a 3. Brilliant. It could have been a lot worse, I suppose. Like, if that deuce doesn't hit the river, then we are going to get F'd in the A. TM Woodsy. Apparently I left a note on them in 2018. Probably means nothing now, but there you go. And it's one of the things with Run It Once that does frustrate me a little bit, is I can't leave a note and then it still be on the player when I play them in like a day's time or something. One of the slight drawbacks. The notes only stay on them for 4 hours, I think it is. You may have noticed there me put the little sit out thing open on there, but that's just because I need to go for a pee in a sec. Obviously I called here because we got backdoor straight draw, well sorry, we got backdoor flush draw, we got gut shot to a straight. Hit a 7 or an 8 as well, which would have been good, but on this turn we're just going to let it go. And I think we're going to let go of this river as well. Yeah. Good fold by me. We were already behind the 10s anyway, so there that is. I'll just play the next hand on here, and then I'm just going to go for a break for 2 seconds, just go for a pee and fill up my water. Dead mind. No, actually, I'm going to do something slightly different. Do something slightly different. And the slightly different thing that I am going to do, guys, is I am going to end the stream. Main reason being is that I haven't had any food yet today. I'm starting to get hungry, and there's no point in me kind of going away for a pee, coming back for 5-10 minutes, and then leaving. So, I'm gonna leave you there. Thanks for watching the stream. Please feel follow. I'll try that again. Please feel free to hit the follow button. Follow me on social medias, etc. Streams are starting to go up on YouTube, and I'll have some other content on there as well soon. So much appreciate you hanging out, and I'll catch you next time. Cheers.